Hello everyone! Today we're making chocolate. Yes, new haircut. So this is super quick and super easy raw chocolate recipe that you can make at home, but absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to show you. Just a quick announcement. I'm planning to do my first live stream this coming Sunday. So I'm planning to go to Brighton for the Brighton Vegan Festival. It's taking place in a Brighton Grand Hotel there. So this will be my first visit of the event, and I thought what could be better than taking you with me. I've seen tons and tons of live stream, but I've never done it myself, so anything could happen. And so it's gonna be a exciting and scary experience. So it'll probably be around sort of noonish UK time. So if you want to make sure you don't miss it, make sure you subscribe and also tick that little bell button next to the subscription button. That will make sure that you get a notification when I go live and also when I upload new content. So that's out of the way. Let's make the chocolate. Okay, the ingredients you need. So first of all, we need a cacao butter. They normally come in buttons like this. And we need cacao powder as well. So this is organic cacao powder. And we also need some coconut oil. I have in my kitchen all the time. And some cream coconut. So I've been a little bit confused by the difference between coconut cream and cream coconut. And I think I kind of figured it out. So cream coconut it comes like this, it's solidified. So it's got a layer of coconut oil on top. And I think the bottom is the mixture between coconut oil and coconut bits. So coconut cream will stay in the cream consistency, whereas cream coconut actually solidifies when it cools down. So that's the main difference. And for this recipe, what we need is cream coconut like this, a block like this. And we need some sweetener. So again, I'm on keto, so I'm using stevia. But if you're not on keto, just use regular sugar. And we also need some sea salt. And that's all we need. So making a chocolate is super, super easy. All you need is a medium-sized pot like this. And what you want to do is to take a container that can just sit on top of the pot without going inside the pot. So it needs to be slightly larger than the diameter of the pot you use. And you want to pop it on top. So we're creating a bath underneath the bowl. And what we want to do is to melt all ingredients together. With the pot underneath, I'm going to pour in some hot water. So I'm using hot water because it's quicker to start the process. I'm going to put the bowl on top. So we've got a bowl on top and it's starting to warm up. So we're going to pop in 130 grams of cacao butter. So this will go in. And then 70 grams of the cream coconut. So you can just put it in a solidified state. We're going to melt the whole thing together. And then 30 grams of coconut oil. Pop that in. And then we need 50 grams of cacao powder. Just sprinkle the whole thing in. And with the sweetener, I'm using stevia, so I'm using 40 grams. And if you're using sugar, you probably want to double the amount. Again, it's personal preference, depends on how sweet you want it. So I'm going to add that in. And finally, a small pinch of salt. It works really well with chocolate when there's a little bit of salt in there. So the salt accentuates the chocolatiness. And you just gently blend the whole thing and make it melt together. Didn't I tell you how easy it was? So you don't have to, but I'm gonna turn my heat on and keeping the lowest temperature. This is just to help the water staying warm. You don't have to. If it's boiling water, you might not need to. It smells so good. Okay, I've turned the heat off and it's almost completely melted. So I'm going to just leave it sitting on the pot and I'm going to prepare the mold. I think the simplest way, if you have sort of Tupperware like this, and then layer it with a piece of cling film, like that. So when the chocolate is set, you can just lip the whole thing up. Obviously, you want the chocolate to cool down slightly before you pour it in. But I happen to have these little mini cake tins here. The reason I thought I want to use them is because they come with this little press. So it will help me to press the chocolate out. So I'm going to try this. So I have lined up the inside of the tin with some coconut oil. This will help the chocolate come out. So in order to do that, I'm going to take a small tray, baking tray, and I'm going to place a layer of baking sheets on top of it. And then I'm going to put these little cake tins on top of it. So the bottom of the chocolate is making contact with the baking sheet. That's my molds ready. So I have my chocolate ready here. It's still nice and warm. So what I'm going to do is to divide the chocolate in half, and half of it I'm going to make plain chocolate, and the other half I'm going to add in some chopped nuts. So I'm going to pour in the plain chocolate first. So make sure they're kind of equal sizes. So the rest of them I'm going to just pop in the nuts. So I'm going to try to fill the other molds as well. I mean, it does bulk it up, which is quite nice. Right, done. So now all you have to do is to leave the chocolate in the room temperature to cool down, and then pop it in the fridge if you want to speed up the process. Okay, so I've got my chocolate here. I actually put it in a freezer out of desperation because I'm going to a yoga class in about an hour. So I want to get this done before that happens. So I popped in the freezer, and it seems to set pretty quickly. It took probably no longer than half an hour. I hope the center is set as well, but we'll find out. So I've got this little presser here. I'm going to take one of them first. It's got the parchment at the bottom, so it doesn't stick at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just press it down slightly. Woo! Okay, great. It comes out beautifully. Oh, wonderful. That's block one. I'm going to do the same with the rest of them and just take them out one by one. From this point, unless you like them this big, I'm going to cut them into smaller pieces. So I'm going to take a sharp knife and just cut them in the size you want, really. There's really nothing more than that. I'll probably quarter this. So I'm going to just cut them into kind of bite size. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. It's starting melting in my hands, and that's a good sign of real chocolate. Okay, so that's my plain chocolate. I'll just push them on the side. I think I'm going to do the same with the nuts. The crumbs that comes off, that's okay. It's rustic, it's homemade, you know. So just make sure your knife is as sharp as possible. I'm eating all the crumbs, okay? I'm not wasting anything. Okay, I cut all my pieces. So with the nut ones, I'm going to keep them as they are because they look fantastic like this. But for the plain ones, what I'm going to do is to cover them with some cacao powder. So I'm going to take a sort of big pinchful of cacao powder and just sprinkle on top of it. And just make sure that all corners are covered. Oh man, I wish you could smell it. So there you go. That's our plain chocolate and our chocolate with nuts. So this is the moment I've been waiting for. I made a bunch of this a few days ago, and they ran out because I've been eating them every day. And I was dying to make another batch, and I thought, well, this is a good opportunity to share the recipe with you. So I'm really looking forward to eating this. I want to try the nut ones first. I'm gonna have a bite. Oh, let me tell you, nothing beats homemade chocolate. Seriously, it's really, 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 really good. I hope you enjoy the recipe, and thanks for hanging out with me. The yoga class is calling, so I'll see you next time. Bye.